Hey Hoties, welcome back to my channel. My name is hautemesstom and thank you so much for clicking on today's video. Today we are going to be doing another Critical Sass. Critical Sass is where I look at the new makeup releases that have come out in the past 2 weeks. We talk about them, discuss the makeup marketing, and really try to unpack what's worth our money and what's not. We do a little trash talking, we have a good time, a big yee-haw.
When I say yee, you say haw, yee, yee. When I say yee, you say haw. I didn't say fucking yee.
Do you like this look? Do I like it? To be determined. I certainly have it on my face, and I'm posting it on the internet. If you don't like that, keep it to yourself. If you don't like the look, keep it to yourself. You need to see more of my cleavage, actually, I think. That was a close one. I can't believe we almost just filmed this video from here up. That would have been unacceptable. I use Instagram accounts like TrendMood1, Point Click Vibes, and Makeup on My Radar. I will have them all linked down below. These are the accounts that make videos like this happen, and I know I'm not the only content creator who makes content like this. So if you like this kind of content, you should go follow those people on Instagram, use their promo codes whenever they put those out. If you end up buying the thing because you saw it on their page, you should do that. I also will be using some of their imagery because I am too lazy to figure out how to do this by myself. It's easier to screenshot things off of Instagram than it is to Google each thing to then download a photo and then... Anyway, just like my life is hard. Like being a part-time influencer is like really hard. We're to have fun, hyperbole. There's no like gender neutral, huh? Because it's like hyperbole he, hyperbole the. It's like it doesn't work. They're back on. Ooh, bitch. I have the nails. I have the press-ons back on. You weren't even ready. You didn't even know. I didn't even know. I put them on and I immediately started doing this. And Tiffany said, "Who are you?" Not who are you, I just am me. You know what I mean? Like I just am me again. And so now I have this. I will say, I did actually go through and save some things because I was like, I don't know that I've seen a lot. I'm really tired of being sick, but I also might have mono. Do you want to hear this embarrassing way that I might have gotten mono? So I'm not going to try to put anyone on blast, but it's not because I'm kissing strangers, okay? And I didn't get the kissing disease at 32 years old because I was kissing strangers. I may have gotten it from the child I live with, who may have gotten it from one of his parents. At night, he comes up, he kisses you goodnight, and so you kiss him, and then if I got mono from a 2-year-old, that's gonna look really bad on my resume. It's not looking good for me. I don't know if I have mono. I could go get tested, but I also, again, not kissing anyone on the lip. Who do I see? No one. I work from home, and I have mono. Maybe. I don't know. Anyway, I'm tired of my throat feeling like this. Tired, I love to lay. I love a lay. Not that kind of lay. You know what kind of lay I mean. On the bed. Not like that. You pervert. No. Stop it. No. Essence. How dare you? Why would you do this to us? Essence released the Pink is New Black collection. I'm gonna give you mono, Essence. Why would you do this? Why is no one listening to us? Do they sell? Someone tell me. If you work in the makeup industry and you work for a brand that has color changing pH cosmetics, do they sell? Is that why everyone's making them? Tell me. Lipstick Queen is quaking in its grave. Does Lipstick Queen even still exist? I don't even know if it does. If they don't, that's a fucking shame because everyone took the thing that they did the best and ran with it and are making so much money. Essence, how very fucking dare you? A whole line. So maybe I should explain what's going on here in case you happen to not know. Products like this, where it's like this one color, but then you put it on and it's pink. Like there's pH adjusters in it. And what pH adjusters seemingly only seem to do is make a pink. And the brands will claim that it's like your perfect pink. It's just pink. It might be a little bit different than the pink that I get and the pink that the person next to you gets, and then maybe a different pink than a person who's like a different skin tone than you, but it's just pink. It's only pink. It's never not pink. I'm upset. Essence, keep it. This is crap. I hate this. The only people who I could think of that this would amuse is a child. And I'm really okay with the idea of pH makeup being like a children's thing. Stop trying to sell it to adults. Okay, and I know I'm old and I know I have mono, but you gotta stop this. Stop! Oh, I hate it. Please, oh my God, make them go away. I never want to see another pH changing adjusting product ever again. And listen, let me make it very clear, if this is your favorite kind of product, if this is what you live for, this is the stuff of your dreams, get your life. Go get the Pink is the New Black. The Black is the New Pink collection from Essence, and I hope you love it. And I hope you squeal with joy every time there's a black streak on your face and then it turns into pink and you go, wee! I want you to know that I think you're wrong. I don't actually think you're wrong. I really want you to have the most fun you can have. And if this is what fun in makeup is for you, then enjoy it. She said, I got it if I want. She's so soft like silk chiffon. Someone asked me to talk them out of this. And I didn't know this existed, and now I know. And now you have to know, so we know together. There's going to be an Eau de Yellow Pages, a fragrance that promises to evoke the senses, smelling of freshly printed paper. Top notes, bergamot and lemon. What? Heart notes, cedar and musk, and the base notes are vanilla. Coming in a limited run later this year. Hello, young people of the world. You may not know this, but like we used to not all have like access to the internet all of the time. And so if we needed a service, we had to open a book. And they delivered these books, I don't know, maybe once a year, twice a year. And there was something very distinct about the smell of these books because they smelled like paper. But I also argue that like just regular books also kind of smell similarly. Like there's that smell of book. This is just a phone book. It has phone numbers of like businesses and stuff. And that's what we used to get them delivered. I swear within the last 3 years, one randomly showed up on my doorstep and I said, I don't know what to do with this. We even had, growing up, we had a piece of furniture that was specifically for the phone book. There was like it was like under a phone and there was a phone on top of it. And then you would open, there was in case you needed to use the phone book at the phone. There's also the white pages, which is like neighbors. We're also protective of our data. We all pretend that we're so protective of our data, but then also we're all on TikTok and China knows everything about me. And then I have mono. How embarrassing. What will China think of me? Well, that's none of my business. I don't want to smell like Yellow Pages. I get it, sort of. I would like a room spray. If this was a thing that I was interested in, which I'm not, I'm talking about it because I'm like a little bit amused that this is a thing that's coming out. And I'm also a little bit amused that one of you was like, talk me out of this. I don't know that I want to smell like that. Also, if it was a room spray, there's less of that, like when it makes contact with your skin, who knows what it's going to smell like. You know, like your skin, everything reacts differently on people's different skin, unlike the pH balancing thing that seems to actually happen with fragrances where it doesn't smell the same on two people. But a room spray, I don't have a library. I can't afford that. But some people do, and I'm sure it smells wonderful. I think this as a room spray would be like pretty cool. It's a novelty thing, and you know what you're getting into when you buy it. I don't know who makes it. It just seems like a thing that's popped up out of nowhere. It's not like, I think it'd be different if like a fashion fragrance house did this for like a limited edition release. Like I think that would be kind of funny, like a little bit silly where like a fashion brand was like, and here's our Yellow Pages fragrance. Like that's camp. You know what I mean? But like this is just kind of coming out of nowhere. So who knows the quality of the fragrance? Also, how much are you willing to pay for this? I wouldn't pay more than like $20 to $5 for something like this. And I'm sure it's going to cost more than that. The problem with this kind of thing is that it inevitably sells out and then it never restocks. And then it's like, you always think of what would have been like the baloney face masks that came out last year, like the Oscar Mayer baloney face masks. Like, it's like they sold out and then they never came back. And like, that was kind of that. That's probably what's going to happen to this fragrance. And so like, you'll forget about this. This is going to go away so fast. And the other thing is that if any influencers end up buying this or any, content creators end up buying this, by the time they get it, they can't sell it to you and make money on it, so they're not going to talk about it. And so you'll never hear about this again once it comes and once it goes. And the likelihood of you even finding out that it dropped in time for you to buy it is probably unrealistic. Like I always feel like these things sell out before I even know that they exist. There are also fragrance companies that make fragrances that smell like books and not specifically like the Yellow Pages, but there's gonna be other fragrances that can satisfy this paper smell for you. And so even if you miss out on this, you can buy one of those in the future. Let's talk about holiday sets. This is a general conversation. There's only one situation where I would buy a holiday set, is as a gift. I would never buy one of these for myself. And I'm going to tell you why. And this is like, I'm talking in specifically for me. I'm not talking for you. I'm going to provide some food for thought as I go into why I wouldn't buy one for myself. And maybe you can extrapolate some things about yourself as I'm talking about why I wouldn't buy them. And maybe that would also lead you down the same path. But you can get your joy however you want. You're welcome to buy these if this is what you do. And this is what, there's another scenario where I think it's okay to do, but I wouldn't do it because it's like not where I'm at. But like if you were buying it to split up with friends because there was like enough stuff in there to split down the line, if you're splitting it 2 or 3 ways and you all get what you want, that's another reason where I would buy them. But for there's no other reason I would buy holiday kits. I have a lot of makeup already. And even though I just recently talked about getting friend mail from some friends where I got so much makeup in one day, I was overwhelmed by that. Even though I was really excited to get it, I was overwhelmed by that. Bringing in a lot of product at once is a surefire way for you to miss out on most of the things that you get all in that one big lump. So you buy a holiday kit for yourself, you buy a gift set for yourself, and now you're bringing in 5 to 10 new things into your makeup collection. It's like, what do you use first? Can you put them all in a look together? Because often these kits are set up in such a way where it's like all for a specific part of your face, like where it's like a set of 5 to 10 blushes, a set of 5 to 10 lip glosses. There is a good one from Sephora, and I think that they should do this all year round. Their mascara ones are a good purchase. I think they're a very good buy if you are looking for a new mascara. And what those ones are, you get to try 5 mascara minis, and there's a coupon inside for you to redeem to get the full size mascara that you like the best out of those minis. That's a good one. And the perfume samplers, they do more perfume samplers around holiday season. Same idea. Try a bunch of perfumes. You get a coupon in there. You redeem it for the full size of the fragrances that you tried in the sampler. Great. Those are great. But I'm thinking more of the ones where it's like, get 10 skincare products. They're full size and you get a very discounted price. You're paying like 75% instead of the whole 100% for these products. This full face regimen. I don't know about you. My skincare comes from a bunch of different brands. It's not straight down the line, all one brand, because I found what works best for me in a bunch of different brands. And while it would be easy to be brand loyal, so I could just like walk down the one aisle and be like, oh yes, these are the 7 things that I like from this brand. I'm just going to buy that. But like, so for example, I did see recently that Glow Recipe has like this thing where it's like a full set and it's all full size. You get a bunch of product and you get it heavily discounted. I wouldn't use everything from Glow Recipe. I wouldn't want to. And so then I would have these full size products that I'm not interested in or that might not work for my skin and maybe irritate my skin, and I have them. What am I supposed to do with them? I could give them to a friend, but that's not why I bought it. That's not why I spent that money. If I was buying it for myself, that's not why I'm doing that. If I bought 7 blushes in a set, I'm not going to remember all 7 blushes. I'm going to find, like, what happens for me specifically is, like, whenever I try the blush that I like the best out of it, even if I haven't tried all 7, if I try one of them, I'm like, oh my God, this one's my favorite. And I never really move on from that. It, like, takes practice to remember that there are other things that you bought. The second problem is that there's always minis involved, whether it's, like, multiple minis in a set or, like, you get a couple full size and a couple minis. I don't use minis. I might use a skincare mini. I'm not using makeup minis. And I don't think there's anything wrong with makeup minis if you use them. Again, I'm speaking for myself here. I don't remember to use them. Again, I have a large makeup collection. If I have a mini rolling around in there, I'm never going to see it again. I'm simply never going to see it again. It's going to roll to the back of my drawer. It's going to get pushed to the back of the drawer by all the full-size products that I'm testing out. And I just will never see it again.
You'll never see me again.
And then I've wasted my money buying 5 minis that I've lost. I just don't think kits are worth it. If you are brand new to makeup, I feel the same way about like beauty boxes. Like if you have a beauty subscription service, that does not serve me as someone who has like a very strong base collection to get an Ipsy or anything like that. Because I already know my preferences. I don't need to learn that through trying a bunch of product. I know that. So what I try to do is try to make a purchase of one thing. And I try to do my best to really discern what's going to be the best for me before I make that purchase. And then I only have to buy the one thing. That's what I think is more worthwhile for me. But if you are new to makeup and you don't know your preferences, maybe a kit is a really good way to get your hands on a bunch of things to figure out what's going to be the best for you. And you can try a bunch of things. Same things with those beauty boxes. Like if you do that for a few months, you're going to get a couple things and like really figure out what's good for you. But then from there, after you like figure that out, then these are no good. I don't think these are any good. It's really interesting to hear it from like influencers' perspective where they say, I like that product because they've already tried most of the products in the kit. I wouldn't buy a kit because it had products I already like in it because I already have those products if I have an opinion, or I already had those products if I have an opinion on that product. And if I didn't repurchase them at full size after I finished them, maybe there's a reason. So maybe I don't need it in the set with 100 other things. I also feel the same way about advent calendars, especially brand specific advent calendars. I'm not going to like everything in a Charlotte Tilbury advent calendar. I might save some money in the grand scheme of things if I wanted all of those things, but I don't want all of those things. I'm not going to use all of those things. I think the likelihood of you, and I'm saying the likelihood. I'm not saying don't take it so personally if you're like, I always get amazing value out of it and here I am. I just think that's a rare thing. I think there are definitely people who do that and can do that and want to do that, and this is their time to shine. Whenever these holiday kits come out, they're like, let me pull out my wallet. I haven't spent money all year. This is where I go ham. If you're that person, absolutely. But if you're someone who shops like me, or if you're someone who has a makeup collection like me, I don't think this is the way to go. I kind of hate them. I kind of hate these sets. I don't think they shouldn't exist for the purposes I said before, right? For gifting, for all of those other reasons. But for me, buying for myself, absolutely not. Gotta go. Chantecaille, hey girl, how are you? They're releasing their precious metal collection, and it includes the lip crystal for $52, the precious gold illuminating powder for $102. The radiant gold eye shimmer. Sorry, I'm looking at the photo and I don't know which thing that is. That's $68. The brilliant gloss for $40. The radiant blur glow powder for $102. The mini buff and blur brush, that's $42. Do I have to tell you not to buy this? I think we could all use our logical reasoning brains here and be like, excuse me? I have the regular blur powder and it cost me $82. And yes, I think that was before inflation quite hit us as hard as it's hit us in the past year or so. $82 is still a lot of money for powder, but I've also had it for like 3 years and I still am not done with it. I'm still working on it and I really like it. So I'm really getting my money out of it. Like that $82 has gotten me pretty far. So I'm not trying to say that, but I also know a lot of other people go through powder a lot more quickly than me. And maybe $82 is not like something that would last, like that $82 powder wouldn't last them 3 years. It might last them a couple of months. So I'm not trying to say that everyone needs to have an $82 powder, but when you pass the $100 threshold, it's like, it's like you're making a joke of me and I don't appreciate it. Now, I'm fairly certain they did this glow blur powder last holiday. Is that an actual piece of gold in that top of packaging? And can I sell it? As someone who has like dipped my toe in some luxury brands, Chantecaille, while they do make some lovely products, and I'm not trying to say that they don't, because I have tried. No! Got him. I really am a field reporter in my own room. I would say to you, if you are looking for the luxury experience where the packaging is weighted and the products perform really well and everything about it feels like luxury, I would not recommend Chantecaille as that luxury brand for you to try. Try some Gucci, try some Victoria Beckham, like that. Those are the brands I would recommend for like that experience. Now, you know, I have heard some feedback from people that they don't think that weight equals luxury or that that's part of the luxury experience for them. And if that doesn't matter to you, but like also this packaging in your hands, it's just like, it doesn't look or feel as expensive as it tends to look in photos. Like it's still cute whenever you get it, but it's also not like the best thing ever packaging wise. And so at that point, if I'm paying $102 and I'm paying for an experience plus a high performing product, what am I getting for my $102? It's absolutely just like name recognition at this point. Anyone outside the makeup world, like anyone who's not like in this, isn't really gonna know Chantecaille, like know about the brand Chantecaille, unless they are a person who shops at really high end luxury places for their makeup. Bet your bottom dollar I didn't know who Chantecaille was. I didn't know anything about Chantecaille until I was in this space. So what is Chantecaille selling? What is this fantasy that they're selling me? And I know that Chantecaille like donates a lot of money for like animal charities and whatnot. I don't know if there's anything specifically tied with this collection, but like also donate your money and just buy a powder that you know you already like. You don't need to buy this from Chantecaille. It's a little bit of a miss. There's nothing that feels special specifically within this collection. Now, that's not to say that Chantecaille hasn't made really excellent products in the past, and listen, I talk about the Sunbeam Eye and Cheek color in the shade Ray a lot because it's a good example of what Chantecaille can do whenever they take the time to and then they really like want to innovate something. That was really great, and they should think about doing something like that as opposed to all this nonsense, because this is just absolute nonsense. Okay, well, I think it's time for a little bit of a breather, don't you? So it's time for some plugging. So if you happen to be new to my channel, if you've not really been able to discern what we do on my channel so far, I like to love my makeup collection first and foremost. I want to love on that, but I do bring new makeup into my repertoire every now and then, and I try to be very discerning about what I do choose to buy to bring into my collection, but also I'm on a YouTube channel and I'm on the YouTube, and sometimes you have to feed the algorithm to give it a little bit of love your way. So I do reviews every now and then. Sometimes I am lucky and privileged enough to receive PR, but I also, make money through this. This is a job, and I do make a little bit of money through a myriad of ways, affiliate links, AdSense, and also Patreon to help me buy new things to review for my channel that we are all interested in hearing about. So that's what I do here. But if you are also the kind of person who's not, you want to buy everything and that's what suits you and that's what's great for your wallet, that's absolutely great. And I think you should continue navigating the beauty space as you see fit. But the focus here is to just love on our collections a little bit more before deciding to buy something, and just, trying to think about things before we buy them a little bit. And this video is, part of that ethos. I just like to be real critical of what brands are doing and what they're trying to sell to us. Like I said, I'm also on patreon.com/hautemesstom. Over there, you get my podcast with my friend Kackie of Kackie Reviews Beauty. I do additional, a little bit more personal content over there, if you can believe it. If you can believe that mono isn't where this train ends. But my Patreon is absolutely optional, and it's not a better way to support me. It's just a way to support me. Liking, commenting, engaging, sharing. It's just also a really great way to support me. But thank you to all my current patrons. I really appreciate what you do for me. I also have a free podcast with my friend Tiffany, which is on Spotify. You can check that out. It's a music podcast. It's really fun, very lighthearted. Like, comment, let me know what you're thinking about these new makeup releases down below. All right, let's get back to dissing makeup. Trend Mood sneak peeked this from Patrick Ta. It's the new multi-dimensional eye topper. There's two of them. There's Giving Luxury, which is a gold sparkle, and then Giving Rich, which is a white sparkle. Now, if there's anything that sings to my, there's just maybe no makeup product that sings to my soul quite like a sparkle topper. Quite like a sparkle topper. But what I will say is that Patrick Ta is not going to get my money. I'm going to talk to all of you sparkle topper people, because if you're like me, you probably have so many things that you can use as a sparkle topper. I have the Fenty How Many Carats Diamond Bomb. I have one of the eyeshadows that Surat was kind enough to gift me, which I always use as a sparkle topper. Phytosurgeon's Fractal Freesia I use as a sparkle topper. I have a couple things from Charlotte Tilbury that I could use as a sparkle topper. I have Ice Blink from Shine by SD and Seeking Chefs. I have a couple other shades from the Shine by SD and Seeking Chefs. I have a lot of Pat McGrath eyeshadows that I can use as a sparkle topper. I have the thing that I bought from Makeup Forever that is a sparkle topper with, iridescence to it. So Patrick Ta, you're going to have to do one better to get me, because I also am not really opposed to a loose sparkle topper, but I think a lot of people, that's where they get lost. They see loose and they're like, okay, not me. It couldn't be me. It's not me. And, I'm not opposed to that. But just like a silver and just like a gold is a little too simple, a little too late for me and where I'm at with my sparkle topper journey. But if you happen to be on the lookout for a sparkle topper and you haven't made your purchase yet, perhaps this might be something that you're interested in. But also know that almost every brand has sparkle toppers, and I don't know what will make Patrick Ta's any different than the other sparkle toppers that you get from any other brand. Just keep that in mind, something to consider. But it's cute. It's the first thing from Patrick Ta in a while. I was like, ooh, Patrick Ta top coat, especially after that matte palette nonsense that I didn't really care for, that he tried to release for holiday. This feels holiday-y to me. Sparkle, we love. Okay, Lethal Cosmetics is coming back at you with the 2-Up collection, a sequel to their 1-Up collection. So there's the brand new 2-Up palette with 10 new shades, and then 10 water-activated magnetic liners. And then there's a bunch of stuff. There's nail decals, etc., etc. The palette is 10 pans, and the formatting is 343. I don't buy makeup to use as a piece of art. As much as I love to have a luxury, I have an experience when I'm using my makeup, something that is bigger than it needs to be for no reason is no good in the eyes of me. When I look at this packaging, my brain has a conniption. It's what do you mean? What do you mean? Why is it like that? Why is it like that? And I am not that person who's everything needs to have order and whatever. If my room, this part of my room that you see right here, this part of my room is always clean because I'm always filming or doing some kind of thing. My vanity is a mess. You can never see that. That's not in the footage. Over there It's a nightmare of a room. I'm not trying to claim that I'm organized. This makes my brain hurt though, because eyeshadow palettes shouldn't make me feel this way. My room, all the clothes on the floor of my room, they're allowed to make me feel that way, but eyeshadow palettes, I don't like it. I felt the same way whenever Glossier released their eyeshadow trios in a square, and then they just lined them up weird. I hate this. Oh, I hate it. It makes my brain... Ugh. I don't know what ground we didn't really cover in the 1UP collection that this is covering that we missed. Like, I don't see a purpose for this, like, being an addition. Now, I'll bet that none of these shades are exactly the same, but, like, how different are the looks that you can do with this that you couldn't do with that first one? And I'm just thinking off memory. I just remember it kind of looking similar. And I could be wrong. I could go back and look. But, Tom, how different is this? Well, I don't think they look exactly the same. I feel like they look close enough that they don't feel like two separate ideas or two things that I think that needed to exist as like one collection or a second part of a collection. I don't know. I mean, that's up to you if you have the first one and you want the second one. But, like, to me, like, I feel like I would do similar looks with both of them, and I could get similar looks with both of them. There's obviously more shimmers in the first one than there is in this one, but I don't know. If I was gonna go with Lethal Cosmetics, if I was gonna choose them, I would build my own palette. Here's the thing. Lethal eyeshadows, I kind of like them. I like their mattes. Their mattes are like almost like charcoal paints, charcoal, that's kind of how I feel like they apply. They like build really well on themselves. They're like nice to work with, but they're not quite my favorite. Like, they're not, like my Viseart. They're not like my Hindash. They're not like my newly beloved LH Cosmetics formula. It's not like any of that, but it's really good. If those are my first places, then like perhaps Lethal has like a formula that would come in like a second place situation to them. And I think that their brights work. I think that their colors work because I have the Teresa's Dead palette, the first one from Lethal, and I liked it, but I also couldn't tell you the last time I used any of the shades from it. I don't know if these are removable. Like, I think they usually are magnetic and you can like use them and move them around and use them as singles. So if that's the case, cool. But also, I'm like so not interested in this. I wasn't even interested in the first one because I feel like the first one also seemed awfully large for no reason. And also the pans were like laid out in such a way where I was like, why is it like this? And I feel the same way about this one. Now, some of you will be really into this, but I don't like it. But if this happens to be your zhuzh, then get your zhuzh. If you like these colors, get your zhuzh. I don't think Lethal is a bad company. I just, this release in particular, it's like misses me. I'm running out of steam because I'm filming this on a Friday evening. Was it Friday? It's Saturday. It's Sunday. Someone asked you to talk about the Shuimura and JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I don't know about that. I've heard it before, but I don't know what that is. So I wouldn't be tempted to buy it. But it does look better than their Sailor Moon collection that they did last year, which I was kind of interested in because I know about Sailor Moon and I like Sailor Moon. So it's kind of cute, but also I don't think anyone needs it because like Shuimura also never really seems to do anything really exciting with the makeup whenever they do these collabs. By Terry released this thing that looks like a weird palette for By Terry, so I think it's kind of cool, but also By Terry seems like something you could get on sale all the time, so I bet this palette probably won't sell well to its normal target market and probably something you could get on sale later if this is something that you're interested in. But also, you don't need to get this kind of color story from By Terry. I just think it's interesting that By Terry happened to make a color story like this, but you don't need it. Finally, let's get to it. So, BlendBunny Cosmetics released the Sickly Sweet palette. Okay, so I've talked about BlendBunny before on my channel, and BlendBunny is just not a brand that I'm like super interested in. I will say, I do like that the formatting of this isn't matte shimmer going down the column, and then that's what it does so it's just like a row of shimmers between some mattes. The shimmers and the mattes are randomly incorporated throughout. There's too many shades. If we go past like 12 shades in an eyeshadow palette, it's not a color story anymore to me, in my opinion. This is my humble opinion. I just don't think that's a color story. That doesn't feel curated to me once we have 35 shadows, 20 shadows, 35, however many shadows are in here. Once we hit this, or I mean, like, you don't even have to hit this many. I think at 20, 15, there's too many. Where's the curation? What is the vision you're selling me? So clearly this is like a pastel-ish palette with, you know, lots of colors in it. A lot of those colors look very same to me in the pan. And if they look very samey to me in the pan, a lot of the times, not always, a lot of the times on my eye, it's going to look the same. And well, I could use this and make some really cool looks with it because I'm not trying to say that one couldn't. Like, this is going to inspire some people, a lot of people probably, because BlendBunny is held in really high regard by a lot of the people that I follow. I just don't like the formats of their palettes, and they're just too many shades. It's too many shades. I don't even know, like, there's no way that they would use these kinds of colors to get me interested in eyeshadow. But I think what they could have done is like selected 9 to 10 to 12 of these shades and be like, this is the vision. I'd be like, okay, I respect that a little bit more. It feels like a little bit honed in. This doesn't feel honed in. It feels sporadic to me. It feels like choose your own adventure, but that's not why I buy an eyeshadow palette. I want you to kind of like push me in the direction of an adventure. I think smaller color stories can still be challenging and weird and still feel like you're pushing me in like gently in a direction, but like also I still have the power to make all of the choices. You know what I mean? Like, I don't need 35 eyeshadows, 30 eyeshadows, 25 eyeshadows. Like, I don't feel like you're pushing me in any kind of way. And what I'm thinking of is like when Pat McGrath released Midnight Sun. I don't think that's the easiest color story to work with, but it's an interesting color story to work with. And Pat McGrath was like, this, I have a vision for you, the user using this. Like, I picked these shades because I think you could do something really cool with it, but I'm going to challenge you to make those really cool looks. Whereas this is like, you could do whatever you want. You could do whatever pastel, you could do whatever you want. As someone who uses a lot of single eyeshadows and like is on this journey of just like, I love using like a matte eyeshadow palette, just an all matte eyeshadow palette, and then grab one of my shimmers. Like, yeah, I'm choosing to choose my own adventure because that's how I like to do my makeup. But I wouldn't buy a whole eyeshadow palette to do that. What I'm going to do is really, if I look at this and I feel like I don't have some of these in my collection, but I'm really inspired by like 3 of the shades, I'm going to go around and try to find single shades that look like that or feel inspired by like that, but might look like that, but might look even more like to my preferences than what they're offering. And then that way I get to really, really pick my, like, I really get to choose my choice. And I don't have 25 new eyeshadows because I just don't want 25 new eyeshadows. Very much like the holiday sets and the minis. Too many eyeshadows in a palette is just like getting a bunch of minis where it's like, I'm going to use a couple of these eyeshadow shades and I'm going to figure out which ones I like the most and I'm never going to use the other shades. That's me. I'm speaking for me. I'm talking myself. Like, if that's, maybe you're not thinking like that. Perhaps I'm helping you think in a new way, but like, that's exactly why I wouldn't buy this palette. And I don't really like the color story. I don't really care for pastels. It's like, this isn't my jam. I think also if you've watched my channel, you know, I like a dark and smoky eyes, and like, there's definitely some stuff here where you could smoke things out, but like, that doesn't look like something that I would buy. I don't know what BlendBunny, if BlendBunny will ever get me. Like, I hear their formula is so good. So like, I would be interested in trying their formula of eyeshadows to figure out whether or not it's even a formula I like. But like, the thing is, if they never can make a color story or something to entice me to buy it, then I just continue to be like, well, I hear it's really good, but I still haven't pulled the trigger. All right, folks. Did we get to the end and I didn't talk about Pat McGrath's new collection for the holidays? Yes, we did. And am I gonna talk about it? No, I'm not. Is that the thumbnail you're looking at? I know it is. I'm not sorry. The thumbnail said, I don't talk about this. And if you clicked on this video thinking that I was going to talk about it, you didn't listen to the thumbnail. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. If you are new here and you enjoyed the vibe today, I would love to have you subscribe. The next video that will appear on my channel is going to be me doing a look inspired by the releases that we talked about in today's video. There's not a lot going on in today's video as far as like complexion and such. So basically the next video is probably going to be like an autumnal look. So stay tuned for that. And the whole point of that is just to follow up anything that we might have gotten excited about. The after sass is there to just be like, okay, let's try to talk ourselves down. Is this something that's going to really add to my collection if I choose to buy it? So it's me going through my collection, talking myself down, and it's to encourage you to do the same thing with your collection and look at things. Anyway, subscribe if you aren't already. Make sure to like the video. Patreon.com/hautemesstom if you're interested in doing that. Again, there's like literally no pressure. Thank you to all my current patrons. And that's that. Remember to follow your haute and you'll find me. I'll see you real soon. Bye-bye. Oh God, what is the friends? Friends.